Hello and welcome to episode 99 of the No Excuses podcast. My name's Anne and I live in Worcestershire with my husband Tom. Today is Sunday the 25th of May. And I was thinking, it's quite windy here. I'm just watching my clematis bow like this in the wind, and it's in a pot and the pot's going over as well. Oh dear me, we've had some mixed weather, haven't we? Anyway, I digress already. What was I going to say? Yeah, I was thinking 25th of May, so it's 5 months since Christmas Day. And so 5 months ago, I had a UTI and a bad cold, and we didn't go to my sister's for our family Christmas dinner that Tom and I were supposed to be going to. But never mind. It was a dark day, and I did the right thing in the end by not going. But yes, and only 7 more months. What gets me, I'm not wishing my life away. I hate doing that. But it's flying by so quickly. I finally phoned the people about my boots, because I had to have, I don't know whether, there's probably a modern name for them. Orthopaedic surgical boots. You know, it means they're made for me by an orthotist, or at least in a workshop, speciality firm. Anyway, I need something doing to my boots, so I need a new pair or 2 pairs. And I keep putting it off because last time they told me I hadn't seen them for so long I had to be referred again. Which to me makes no sense, because I have to have them. It's not like I'm a one-off. Like my friend had a lift put in her one shoe between her 2 hip operations, and that made sense, and she'll never go back there again. Well, not for many years, if she does need to, for a new reason. But so anyway, I kept putting it off, and I phoned them, and she said, "You're going to be referred again." I said, "Well, why?" I wasn't rude to her. Should it, because the funding only stays for a couple of years per person. But if I phone them up every 18 months and say, "Keep me on your list," they will. And I don't need referring again. Weird. So I said to her, "Well, I did put that on when I sent my boots in for repair last time. I said, I did do that. I said, that was only a couple of years ago. It was 2021. And I know it was just after my dad died, but I didn't think it was that close, because he died in September. And I remember going past the hospital thinking, I haven't been past here since Dad was here. And that was like a bit of a shock to me, because I hadn't thought about it, because I'm an idiot. So that was 4 years ago, nearly 4 years ago, 3.5. Anyway, we digress, and let's get on with the show. Call it that. So yes, I'm on episode 99. Thank you everyone who watches on a regular basis, and I have a few new subs, so thank you for that as well. I've written everything out. I've put pretty stickers on my book, and we have bright and breezy weather. I've still got the ring light on, so I apologise if it gets in my way. Oh, by the way, I did go and see Specsavers about my glasses. You know, the ones that's like the birds keep. I'm looking out for the pigeons so I can get rid of them, because they eat all the food in the tray. So I get distracted. Will we ever get onto the knitting, Anne? It's been 6 minutes already and you're useless. I know. You don't come here for the knitting, do you? What was I saying? I don't know. I can't remember what I was saying. I was saying thank you for the subs. Anyway, I don't know. Right, let's get on with the knitting. I am wearing my city limits. I'm sorry I haven't dressed up for you. And to all intents and purposes, I shouldn't still be wearing a winter jumper in the end of May, but I am. It's quite warm if you're going to sit in the sun, but there's a fierce breeze today, so you've got to sit out of the wind to get any benefit, really. Okay, make-alongs. Get your kit off. It's rumbling along. I've had a few more entries, and that ends at the end of July. And the double-long, holding 2 strands together or using more than one colour, i.e. any colour work, ends at the end of September. It's listed down below where you can enter. You can enter via email, Ravelry or Instagram. But please, if you use Instagram, please tag me at Spaknits, because otherwise I don't see it. And I can search on different devices and it won't come up. Not my fault. If it was, and I'd find a way around it. When I last looked, which was yesterday, I hadn't had a response to either of the draws that I did at the end of last episode, which was getting on for nearly 3 weeks ago, I think now, just over 2 weeks. And that was Claire. Now, I know Claire's details, so I will contact Claire because, she may not watch every single episode. She might be on holiday. But because she's been a good contributor and supporter of the podcast in the past, and I've got her contact details, I will get in touch with her. And that was for the Blossom, the monthly draw. And then the other one for that 800 subs is Patty-U9C. I'll put them on the screen. And Patty, I don't have any details for you. If I look at your YouTube, it's just a standard person who is on YouTube. You don't seem to have your own channel where you podcast, etc., which is most people at the end of the day. So if you want to get in touch with me, or if anybody knows Patty, can you give her a nudge, please, if you know her from your podcast or you've seen her on another podcast. So, yes, let's see how that goes. Fingers crossed. There will be another draw at the end of this episode, and I should have put it on here, and I'm going to make a note now because I might forget. Oh no, I won't do a draw. We're going to do the draw next time in June. I won't be doing 2 draws in May. I ain't that generous. Good grief. Who do you think I am? Yeah, I did say, didn't I? I went into Specsavers and got me glasses fixed because they were all falling off my nose, weren't they? And they made me feel a bit sick when I wore them. So I tried them again and they were equally as bad. She's made them a bit tight now, but I'm going to give them a go and see how that goes. Right. New make-along. The make-along will run to the end of October, and it's going to be accessories. Now, I know that other people are doing accessory mals, so you can double dip, triple dip, whatever you want. The only thing is, no socks, because I don't knit socks. Why should you? That sounds a bit harsh, doesn't it? You know what I mean. So it's going to be things like shawls, scarves, wraps, mittens, hats, any sort of mitten, fingerless, gloves, headband. They're quite popular at the moment. Little tiny scarves, big scarves. What else is that? Leg warmers. I won't include socks, but I'll include leg warmers. There you go. Anything like that. If you think of something I'm listed there, ask me. If it's not socks, it can be included. And the only reason why I'm thinking of excluding, well, 2 reasons why I'm excluding socks is 1, I don't knit them, so I'm just being mean. And 2, I think there's so many people that knit socks that they're very, very commonplace. And there's also always some sock mals going on. I wanted to be a bit different in my mals, but I couldn't think of anything, and I wanted to announce another one today. So, right, let's talk about what I've been doing, shall we? I haven't finished anything, but I've been doing things as much as my arms will allow me. I wrecked my right arm by doing mitered squares. Now, I think I showed you last time these, but I've been doing some more. I'll just show you a couple more. They're probably the ones that I showed you last time. I haven't blocked them, obviously. Who blocks anything to do with a blanket? Not me. Now, what I've been doing with them is I'm choosing a variegated. I'll show you on that one. Excuse the pink. Variegated at the bottom. And then I do that side. And do that side. And then I do the top. So that I'm picking up in the same order. and then I sew the ends in that I can where they're sort of midway, and everything points in the same direction. And I'm thinking that I'll join them in blocks of 4 with the variegated in the middle, so that they join up. You know, I can't hold things up. But then, and then the miters will point to one another, and in a block of 4, they'll all centre into the middle of the block. I know what I mean. If I remember, I'll take a photo and show you what I'm on about. I've also been doing, I found more minis, and I've also been doing my 3 round granny squares. Sal sent me that one, a full skein, when I said I was running out of pinks, and I'm going to use half of it in my blanket, and I've made some of those, and I've put something else in another project, which I'll talk about later on. And then I also, is it here? Oh, where is it? I haven't got it. I've also started another little square out of any tiny teeny scraps that I've got left. I'm getting quite neurotic about using up every bit. I hate throwing things away, but then I've got so much, and you know, what can you do? And of course, the smaller the bits are that you use, you've still got 2 ends to sew in, and I'm quite pedantic about sewing ends in. I'll show you the back of that one. You can see there's quite a ridge on here and there down below, and that's because I go vroom, vroom, vroom with those noises. So you can see that's, and also I like to, the thing I didn't say, I might have said last time, is I like to take the colours that are in the variegated bit and put them, and choose colours as near as I can, plain, in the plain bit. So that's got greens in, that's got the pinks and the yellows in from the variegation. Sorry, I'm not good at holding things up. So I've been doing that, and I was doing it for too long, and I've ended up hurting my arm, and I couldn't do any knitting for nearly 3 days. And I just realised that one hasn't got any variegation in it at all, and nor that one. Oh well, it don't matter, does it? It's mine. Do what I like. I suspect they were early ones before I decided to go down that route, so I'm not bothered. Now, yeah, I wrecked my arm. I couldn't move my right arm, and my left arm doesn't move very well at all these days. And it was really awkward. The only thing that cured it was me lying on it in bed. You know, but I dreaded getting up the first night in the middle of the night, because I don't like to wake Tom, although I invariably do by rocking the bed trying to sit up. Get seasick. And I dreaded getting out because I didn't know whether my arm was going to support me or not, because it was so painful. But it did its job, and slowly it got better, and now, so I'm stacking my little crochet squares up. I've got about 500 to 600 of these now, and it's about time I decided what to do with it. Then I'm keeping this in my lovely Simplicity pattern bag Penny gave me for Christmas 2 or 3 years ago. I cannot remember, and since time flies by so much, I dread to think actually how many years it's been. So I'm just going to pop them back in there, because I don't have a lot of room around me as usual. And we've got, I keep the needles in there. I'm using double pointed needles and a 2.5 or 3mm crochet hook for the crochet squares. And I couldn't think of the last thing I bought at Wonderwall, not the last thing, but one of the first things I bought at Wonderwall actually, and it was a little keychain, pottery. I can't remember the name of the, it looks like it's a fossil on one side. Can't remember the name of the store, and if I can find it I'll put it up. So let's get on to the next thing. When I go away and come back again, I never know whether I'm in the same place. This is my Lento. I thought I haven't shown it you for a couple of episodes. I'm keeping it in this very useful, I found, bucket bag. It's going to be a drawstring, I told you before, but actually something didn't work on it, and I decided that I couldn't sell it as a drawstring, so I've used it as another yarn bowl, and goodness knows I need a lot of yarn bowls. Ever since I started doing the 12 cast-ons, I'm not blaming you, Ange, but I'm just saying, right, ever since I started doing the 12 cast-ons, it took me a couple of years to get into it. I got a bit of cast-onitis, and it's a bit, not worrying, but I like things to be done. Anyway, this is the Lento. It's coming along quite well. You can see, I've got about, not much more, I don't know, 5 inches. I probably had that same last time. I've got this on the table where I sit in the armchair at night. Now, bearing in mind it's been done on 6mm needles, and the 2 yarns are the linen colourway from Yarnsmiths sock, Merino sock, which is lovely, and Soul colourway, which is a Zakami Suri Alpaca, which has got lovely colours in it. And I'm really, really pleased. I'm not alternating the skeins of the Soul. What will be, will be. But I love this. And it feels divine. I've said that to you before. I've done the neck's ready. I don't have to go back and do the neck. And it looks nice because it's a folded over neck. But I sit there at night and I fall asleep all the time at the moment. My drugs haven't been upped or anything. But I think it is the opiate element having an effect on me, because I take the what's it called, slow release one at night and in the morning. So by the time I'm sat down to watch telly we don't sit down till about 10 o'clock. I'm already half asleep. I'm already falling asleep while I'm watching something on my tablet in here. So yeah, I have got a way to go with this, but I am making some progress. But what annoys me is when I get woken up by it falling down my legs, and I'm still holding it as if I'm going to knit it. The wool's still wrapped around my needles at my hands. I saw my friend Liz. Did I tell you that she went home wearing my Ranunculus? I thought I had. I took it to the pub for her to try on, because when she helped me organise my wardrobe, excuse me, that's me, ring light. When she helped me organise my wardrobe, she said, well, I like that jumper, and it was the pale one. And, well, both my Ranunculuses are pale. And she said, you can make me one of them. So I said, okay. So I'm going to, and I've chosen this colour. Now these two look slightly different, but quite highly variegated colour. Because I think that looks slightly. I think that one's got slightly less orange in it. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But so I'm alternating skeins now. I've gone past the yoke. I didn't see any point before the yoke with all the texture in the yoke. But I've shot myself in the foot because, hold on, so many bits here because I've got two balls attached to it. This is the start of my friend's Ranunculus, but you can't see the pattern, right? You can't see the patterning. I mean, you might see it a little bit when somebody's wearing it, there's some texture there. But I've looked at lots of Ranunculuses and I've actually been critical in thinking, why have you chosen that pattern for such a highly variegated yarn? Because it's not a lot of work. The Ranunculus, one of the reasons why it's popular is because that nice, pretty yoke is actually very easy to do, in my opinion. Excuse me, must be something to do with recording my itchy nose. I have had to have a couple of hay fever tablets this year. because my eyes have been streaming by the end of the day. I used to get hay fever. So I've done what I've criticised other people for doing, and that's used variegated wool for the ranunculus. I don't know, can you see the patterning? I can't. I'm persevering, I'm going to do it because I've got 400 grams and Liz wants it quite a bit longer than I've made mine. And I'm sure she'll wear it, I know she will. If the patterning doesn't matter to her and she enjoys wearing the lightweight jumper, that's the main thing, isn't it? Yes, it is, yeah. Telling you, I'm right. And it would fit me because I'm doing the biggest size, which is only a 48 inch actually. I'm surprised, but it's very, very loose. Very loose. And to be honest, you could add more if you needed to. So this is 4-ply. And it's Merino, yak and nylon from Woolly Tangle. I don't know if it's a repeatable of hers. I didn't visit her this year. I bought off her last year in Wonderwool, but I didn't visit her this year because I was trying to avoid people that might do nice wool that I'd want to buy sweater quantities of. So yeah, so I started this probably about a week ago. So I've made a bit of progress. I'm onto the plain knitting now. That's the neckline. Without giving it anything away, you can all see that it's a yoke, a patterned yoke, and there are thousands and thousands of them on Ravelry. I don't do the rib. If you look at a picture of the pattern, I don't do the rib. I go immediately to where after the rib. So I've done I can't see what sort of cast on I've done there. I think I've done a German twisted cast on, but you're never going to be able to see that. Useless, isn't it? So the German twisted cast on, and because I want it to be flexible and I want to be able to pick up off it if it's too wide when I go back to it. Interestingly, you cast on so many stitches using this double loop technique, which there is a video for, and you can link to it from the pattern page. Don't have to buy the pattern to see whether you like that or not. But this is the third ranunculus I've made, and I've decided not to go for the rib. I felt that the stitches were too few, even using a double twist. I should trust the pattern, I know I should, but I just didn't want to get so far and then have to do it all again. So I cast on the double loop and it looked really messy. And I spoke to Penny about it. I messaged her, back on anyway. And I mentioned I'd started a ranunculus, and she said she misses the rib as well. She prefers the look without the rib, which is fine. So I've done it a second time, this double loop technique, and it is a lot neater. I tried to hold it together more, and I tried to be firmer when I was doing the first couple of rows of rib. Because I find if you've got, this is 6mm again, you've got 6mm needles on 4-ply, it jumps. I find it jumps on the needle. The Lento doesn't do it so much because you've got the equivalent of DK, and that extra weight is just enough to make it behave a little bit better on the needles, I find. It might be the way I hold my needles, I don't know. But I'm onto the raglan bit at the moment, and then we split for the sleeves and then we do the body. So hopefully she might have this by the end of July-ish, maybe, because I don't want to knit on it all the time. But I'm pleased I've started it, and hopefully it's another 4 balls or near enough balls out of my stash, which is what I'm keen to do at the moment. My stash is scaring me. So that's the ranunculus. And what do you think about the variegation? Do you think it matters if it's variegated or not? Do you think you can see a bit of something? And I know it's personal choice. I'm not, when I say criticise other people for doing it, I'm thinking, why have you bothered putting the effort to do the lace bit or the texture bit when you're not going to see it? But does that matter? No, it doesn't really. So, but I got caught out on my own criticism or my own critique. And I don't know why I didn't realise that before. Would I have chosen a different pattern? No. And would I have chosen a different yarn combination? No, I wouldn't. I decided a long time ago. As soon as she said she wanted the Ranunculus, I decided I'd use this yarn. So there you go. And I think that is all my progress. Should we do incoming for the second month, or no, the second episode in a row? Okay, I'll be back. I know you're not going to judge me. My mother will. But after Wonderwall, and it might have been before Wonderwall, I can't remember, but Wool Warehouse announced their latest Yarnsmiths range, and it was a cotton DK. And I don't think I can think of a better combination, a DK and cotton, to make a summer tea out of, because the cottons they produce these days are lovely, and they're soft and they're very, very washable. I also like the naturals, which I've used before, by Stylecraft. That's bamboo and cotton, 50-50. But because it was on an introductory offer, I said to Tom, shall I? But it worked out, even buying 500 grams, which in theory is enough for Cardiff if I want to change my mind, it only costs £12 a top. How can I say no to that? I know you're nodding your head and you're saying, I completely agree, Anne. What you've done is very sensible and very understanding. So I bought 3 lots. You might as well jump in the deep end, mightn't you? So this is Yarnsmiths cotton. No, that's blowing out a lot. It's cream. It's a nice heavy cream, and it's called Blush. And if I put it next to the next colour, which is peach, it's blowing out as well. Because I'm by the window and I've got the light on. It's called peach. And then this is called duck egg. Now it looks turquoise, doesn't it? And it isn't, it's duck egg. It's a very flat colour that is really blowing out. I'll have to see if I can get the pictures off the website maybe, or take a picture myself. Now to tell you more information, it's 50 grams for 106 metres. And it says on here, 100% cotton, knits to most DK patterns, 4mm needle. Mild wash, cool tumble dry, cool iron. Don't know what that means. So yeah, I've got 3 colours. Actually, I mean, I love these pastels together, but they don't look like pastels like that, do they? So I'll see what I can do about showing you the true colours, or a little bit more accurately anyway. And then I also bought this because it was on offer, and it's their Merino sock. I find these a bit hard to work with because they're sausagey to pull them out, and I like to hand wind my stuff if I can. I think this was called fruit salad or something, but it only lists a shade, and I think because it was on offer it might be being discontinued. It's very pretty, and I'll tell you what I'm going to use that with or for in a minute. Well, not a minute, but a few minutes. And then, excuse me, crackling, I have for a long time now, i.e. a few months since it was released, to want to do the Glow Hair Frost Shawl by Stephen West. I had a look on the Knitting Shed because I like their colours when I was at Wonderwall, but I've decided to do it in the colours from Attic's Bin Dye, their rose colours. So I've got the rose, the deep rose speckles, and the chintz, the Chatsworth chintz. And I think that's going to make a really nice glow hair frost. But you need a bit of fluff if you want to do it how Stephen has written it. So I bought some of their Kid Mohair Silk. It's less purple than that, it's more of a pink. Not doing well today, are we? That is a baby pink. It's not quite as lilac-y as it's looking to me. This is more of a baby pink. I think I've got 2 of each. And then that, which is, I've got the marzipan from Drops. and it's very, very similar. If I'd known it was that similar, I wouldn't have ordered any of this. But yeah, that's shade 3050. That's shade 3410, and that's shade 3380. I have to say, I'm impressed with the softness. Is it softer than drops? I haven't got any near me to compare, not in the ball anyway. I've got some wound up, and I'm thinking they're probably the same supplier. You know, when people say, oh, so-and-so's wool is very, very soft, I think there's a range they can buy from, but not that many suppliers in the UK, from what I can gather. Hold on. Put it back as you found it, otherwise it won't fit. Put everything in bags. So I can bag everything up now. I've done that, and I want to cast on a double knitting top, and I'll hopefully do that this week because I'd like to wear it this summer. So yes, those are my incomings. Is that all right? No more now. I've done what I wanted to do. The glow hair floss shawl has driven me up the wall looking at it, so I finally bought the pattern, and I dived in and got some kid mohair. I don't know whether that's still on offer. There's a drop sale on as well at the moment if people want to be enticed. The other two patterns I've bought recently is Zora by Isabel Kramer, and I'll put a picture of it. I should have written the details down, but I haven't. And Flower Child by Wool and Pine, which has got a lovely patterned yoke, because things with stuff around the belly don't do me any good at all. This is why I knitted up a lovely tenure and then undid it again. So yeah. Yes, so that's me up to date, and I will hopefully... Well, I've got the lantern shawl, which I'm beading, which was a cast on in 2024. So it's been on the needles 18 months nearly. And I want to get that done before I start the glow hair, but maybe I won't. Trouble is, if I have too many things on the go, I can't reach them all, and I like to have them where I can grab them. I don't have to get Tom to go in the wardrobe, let alone the loft. I'll do a little video one day of what I'm surrounded by. I think, how'd you get your wheelchair in there? More importantly, how'd you turn around? I've just got enough room. Okay, last time, we're going to talk about Advents again now, because that's all my knitting and updated and everything. I asked you what your view on Advents were, because I'm not going to buy one this year. I was sort of tempted by one the other day, because it was a little bit not as expensive, and it was a set of 12, and then of course you could double it up if you wanted to, or you could buy different extras, and I was sort of thinking, oh, well, that'd be nice to have 12. But before I'd even seen that, when I was thinking after your feedback on Advents, I wondered whether you might be interested in doing a 12 days of Christmas scrappy Advent with me for my Stroke Association fundraiser this year. Every year I say I'm not going to do it again. I love doing it, and it's quite a bit of work, you know, make the bags, and I did more of an Advent a few years ago. I think I did like 10 10s and 5 5s was the thing. But since then, obviously, I got rid of most of my minis then, and they've been building up again, and I've taken quite a few scraps where I've finished the jumper and everything, or whatever I'm making, and I've been turning them into 10-gram minis, and I've got about 100 so far, and I've still got some to do. I've got a little niddy noddy that's it's a short one for minis, and I've got a big one as well. I can't use the big one because of reach, but this is fine, and it'll take 10 or take 20 okay as well, or even 50 grams, but 50 grams gets a bit fat on it. But for my own use, it's fine. Got that off Etsy. Or did I? Might be a professionally made one. A big brand one. I can't remember. Anyway, it's for minis. So I've been winding those up in between crocheting squares, doing a mitered square. What's left, if it's more than 10 grams, I've taken that off first and I've used what's left to do the squares with. And I've got quite a few built up already. I end up tying them a bit weird because I hate waste. So sometimes I've tied them so that the two ends are tied with a different yarn altogether. And I'm hoping that 99.9% of them are over 10 grams. I may have lost some when you cut it. I know I don't have to say this to it, but I'm sort of fairly... I don't make them any less than 10 grams, but where I've got nearly 10 grams, I feel obliged to say I would have edited that bit where I shout at the pigeon. Yeah, what was I saying? Right, I can't remember where I stopped, but I was saying about the advents. Where I've got nearly 10 grams, I don't want to waste it by making crochet squares, make too many of them. I only need 3 or 4 grams for that. So I'll wind it up anyway, but I'll weigh them all before I put them in the post. So, and if you don't want to take part, please don't feel any obligation, because I can use them in giveaways and all sorts of things. Most of them are Merino nylon. Some of them are singles and look a bit crinkly. None of them have been used in other projects and taken down again. They're all new wool. They've been wound by me. Some of them are commercial as well. Some of them are opal or regia. And some of them are alpaca and cashmere and silk. I will try, and some of them are Wensleydale. I might try and label the ones I definitely know, but I won't be labelling the majority that are Merino nylon. And there's a range of colours. So what I was thinking of doing was doing a very soft, not wadded, but lined bag, drawstring bag, with 12 10-gram minis in as options. So you can buy one or you can buy both. And I've got plans for something else as well, but I need to talk to somebody first. And that will go towards my stroke association thing, and you'll have a mini advent to open either the 12 days up to Christmas or as Christmas, whatever you choose, or the 12 days after. I've always used my advents after Christmas up into January for the traditional 12 days of Christmas, and that's just me. And then I put them away and I'm not using them for anything, you know the colours I like. There's the blues and greens and pastels, and there's not many jewel colours because I don't tend to wear jewel colours, so I don't tend to buy them, but there are a couple. But there's any colour you really don't like, I think what I'll do is I'll open it up, but have a think. I don't want you to commit yet. I think I'll have a look towards the end of June, beginning of July, about taking any, when I've sort of worked out how much I'd like to raise for I usually raise about £120 for the charity, and I'm quite happy to do that. And I don't take a lot for myself and the cost of the fabric. I do it for fun, and I'm not being sanctimonious. I enjoy doing it. And I do it because I can, and I'm very lucky in the fact that I can. And I've got too much material, fabric specifically bought for making bags, and I've got too much leftover wool. But this fruit salad, or whatever it's called, is going to be broken up into 11-gram minis, and what's left will go into my blankets. So there you go. So that's my idea for Advent. Do you think that's a good idea? Would you be interested in joining in? I'm quite happy to send anywhere in the world. It won't cost a lot to post. So then let me know, because I think it's a shame, and it'd be nice if you've never tried an Advent to at least have that surprise. But please, if you don't want to, I will talk about cost. It's not going to be a lot. and I'm doing it for charity, as one of the comic programs used to say. I can't remember if it's the flash show or the video. I've lost all track, of what's gone on. Leading up to the 80s, I'm fine. 90s and thousands, I've got no idea what happened. No idea. I met Tom in 2003, and we're coming up to our 22nd anniversary of knowing each other. Do you know what it is this year for 7 years wedding? It's copper, or if you're in the UK, it's wool. I might have a copper shawl pin or something like that. I don't need any more wool. Right, activity. I did sort of block. I soaked my Mick Aston City Limits. It's in the wardrobe. It looks okay. I haven't tried it on. When I start washing everything for this summer, I will try my Mick Aston on. I went out with Denise into our little town centre in Droitwich, and I bought a top and she bought a top from a shop called Labels. They sell overstocking stuff, and they do quite well, I think, in our little town. And I got one of these Italian things that you see on the market, but it's not quite big enough for my boobs. So Mum and I are going to find some fabric to put it in the back as a vent or the side. So I could just get my arms in, which is usually the problem. But no, it wouldn't go over me boobs. Sort of grey with poppies on and plants. And I liked it so much, I thought, no, even if it doesn't fit me, I'm going to keep it. I bought a top, and Mum suggested to me that because I've got at least 30 odd pairs of linen trousers in different colours, and luckily Mum didn't throw them away. She put them in the loft, and she said, now I can't dress myself, why don't I go back to wearing linen trousers as long as they fit me? And they should fit me, because I haven't put weight on, or everything else fits me that I've worn forever. So I've got a couple of pairs there that I need to try, and I keep forgetting to try them. Sorry, Mum. And then if that's the case, I can have them all back and I can start looking a bit better. Stop wearing Ponte-Roma trousers in the summer and when it gets a bit hot. And I love the look of linen as well. I don't iron it. Of course I don't iron them. So that would be a positive. The man came about the flooring for the bathroom. I've chosen, Tom chose a colour and I agreed. I do sometimes let him, I visited my mum last Sunday. I sat in my manual and it had quite an effect on me. I need to phone. I was busy this week, so I didn't get around to phoning the wheelchair service to talk to them about more support in my chair, what I can do for that. I had my hair cut because I've got the straight fringe, as you can see. And on Friday, just gone, we looked after Harley, that's Penny's Border Terrier, and she's such a lovely girl. She's so funny. Tom played ball with her in the garden. Penny said, I've brought her 2 balls up because she won't let one go until you've thrown the other one or nearly. Anyway, she dropped it, when he looked like he was going to, but she ran off with the ball still in her mouth, chasing another ball. And then she also ran off when he hadn't even thrown it. But she was squealing with delight, like, woof, 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 to her ball, jumping up and down. Oh, she's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous dog. And she was quite happy on her own. She lay behind me when I was in here. We didn't give her constant attention, she was quite happy. She woofed when she was outside a little bit because she could see people walking past the gate. But she was not naughty. She was an absolute treasure. So we were pleased to look after her for the day. And I forgot that last Monday, I went to Webb's. Tom dropped me off at Webb's and I saw my friend Elaine, first time I've seen her since January. And it's quite a pull on me, really. I've seen Liz a couple of times because Liz only lives in Worcester. But I miss Elaine and I need to see her, And then I forgot to give her a couple of things, which is annoying. Even when I write things down, I forget things. Anyway, so we had a meal in Webb's. I wasn't that impressed with their menu. Elaine and I ended up having the chicken goujons from the children's menu because all the others were bigger than I wanted because I was going to eat with Tom in the afternoon. But then I did have a cake. So had something called hazelnut and orange crown. A bit like a blob of marmalade in the middle. And it was a Danish pastry and they just warmed it. And absolutely delicious. That was in their different cafe to the main one. They've got like a coffee and cake thing as well now, where you go up to the counter because they waitress serve you on the in the big restaurant. Saw Naomi, my sister-in-law, in Hobbycraft. Didn't buy anything from Hobbycrafts this time. And hold on, the pigeons are coming. I'm trying to. Do you see that then? Sorry. I was trying to land on my washing then on the line. Yeah, so we had a look around Webb's and Tom and I then went back in when they went home. We had a look for some certain tomatoes. It's my full-time job. Just landed on my t-shirt. There. Dirty. Yeah, and then came home and had a nice day. That was lovely. Need to get another date in the diary. Tom needs to take me to Merry Hill really and find something to do for a couple of hours. So, and that is it. I don't have any plans. Tomorrow's Bank Holiday Monday. I will be editing this hopefully today, getting it out to you Sunday night, but you won't know that till you see it. And I want to get and do some sewing because I still want to finish these bags that I've cut out. And then I want to do some quilting. Said I'd do the quilting in March. Nearly June. Never mind. Right. You know where I am if you want to get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. I always like to give you full responses to anything you write to me down below. If I miss something I say I'm going to do, I'm sorry. Give me a kick up the bum. Well, you can't really because I'm sat down all the time. But yeah, I was going to talk about change actually, but we'll do that another time because I'd written it in my book. And then Penny from Penelope's Chinwag mentioned change in life. I think talking about my arm and the fact I can't knit for so long is part of it, and me not being able to sit in my manual wheelchair for so long. And it's about not fighting it. You've got to, you can fight things by trying to maintain. For me, maintaining my movement that I've got and not lose any more. But it's when your body doesn't want to do something, it's very difficult to fight the change if it just refuses, you know. Like me trying to reach things. I do myself more harm than good. Anyway, we'll touch on that another day. Thank you for your company. Thank you for being with me. It's 53, it'll be a few minutes less than that. And I will hopefully see you in a couple of weeks' time, in the beginning of May, June. And don't forget, if you know Patty, please give her a nudge and I will contact Claire. And we'll have a new giveaway in the beginning of June. I hope your gardens are doing well. If you've got a garden, you like gardening, I've got some lovely lupins. I'll take a photograph of them actually. I'll stay still long enough in the wind and I can put it at the start of the poddy. Right, I'm going now. I need another cup of tea. I need something to eat because I'm not eating yet. And it's probably about 2 o'clock. I did get up earlier today. Well, earlier than 11. I'm going because I just waffle. I just sit here and talk to my picture on the screen and waffle. You take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.